Alright, hello everybody. I am O Gaming's Master Dulk. With me is Rifkin. We're here to cast a replay of two amazing Korean players. To start off, on the upper right we have our red Zerg from Team Liquid. It is Zenio.
And his opponent, representing FXO, in the lower left, it's the blue Terran, Gumiho. Now, Neo Planet S lends itself to a lot of really cool, very unique builds that become, or not become, but rather are, because of the fact that there are no watchtowers on this map and only two main attack paths. And this plays
Yeah.
both, I feel like it's so good for the Zerg and for the Terran. It's a matter of who can capitalize and abuse the map first.
Yeah, especially with how tight it is, that a drop can actually be more effective than it probably could be on other maps, because then you'd have to run around with your main army or split up your army to try and deal with it. But then also once you get into that area where you're taking your third and your fourth, they're so far apart that if there's drops or harassment going on at either one of them, and then the main army comes into the other one, you're going to have a lot of trouble trying to defend.
Now, one thing I've been seeing become more and more common lately are bailing mines on this map. Being the fact that there are only two attack paths, everyone knows Terran players are going to be running their bio to the middle of the map, and Gumiho is not someone I could see playing mech on this map, although I would love to be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, Gumio, his bio just is probably his best mech. You rarely see it from him, and yeah, bailing landmines, as you said, there's just very little other paths than the two that go around the gold bases that bailing landmines can very easily catch bio off guard.
And I don't know if Xenios going to be one to incorporate this, because I do feel it's kind of this. Like, you know how right now, in the general scene, I'm not talking just Korea, not just Europe, not just North America, but in general, there's a very few amount of Zergs who are comfortable using swarm hosts. I kind of feel it's the same situation for bailing mines. There's something that's been around for a while, but it's still not something a lot of players are comfortable with, because it's a lot of extra attention you have to pay.
Yeah, but I don't know, Storm Hosts, I feel like they're a bit easier though, because with Storm Hosts you can kind of just leave them. It's only
But
like
that's the downside,
pressing
though. I mean,
forward.
every Zerg player and their mom right now is complaining the fact that every unit in the Zerg army is mobile, except the swarm.
That's true. Yeah, it's like, I'm just gonna leave this here. Let me see how it works to have a Zerg tank. I've never had this before.
Pretty much. But alright, it looks like we're going to have the opening with Hellions coming out of Gumiho, and I like this. We don't have the second gas, so sadly we're not going to see a classical Banshee follow-up to this. It will just be the expand for the time being. And this is a great way to open up for one of two reasons. One, you get Hellions on the field, it lets you assert some very early game map control. If you can force a couple extra lings out, so much the better. And in a best case scenario, maybe Zenio forgets what's going on, leaves his pants down, and you get in there with some Hellions and kill some, not some, but a lot of drones.
Yeah, and especially on this map where it's so tight that getting a lot of Zerglings bottlenecked is very easy to do. So you can, if you're very good at maneuvering your Hellions on other maps, doing it on Neoplanet S is actually a lot easier. So then, especially going behind the mineral lines and then straight up the ramp into the main, it's just so much quicker to do as a Terran player on this map because of how the map is put together.
I didn't catch this right away. Zenyu actually went for speed and gas and then stopped. So while I can't imagine this necessarily being a Ling all-in, this is going to allow him to ramp up his production very quickly. And when he sees these Hellions, he's going to have no problem making an overabundance amount of Zerglings if he wants to.
Yeah, but right now it looks like he's going to be content on droning, and I don't blame him. Speed is about to finish, so once that finishes, he'll be fine, and right now it's only the one Hellion that he's seeing. A second one coming right now, and it looks like it's going to be transitioning out of Hellions, or not, because two more are just queued up.
Well, typically he'll go up to 6 so you can deal with the queens, and then that's when you start transitioning out. But one key thing here, too, is I think maybe Zenyo was expecting Reapers. Because, again, I talked about it earlier, most Terran players open with a Reaper at this point, and the only way to really deal with it is get that speed out quick. So that could have been another reason to just get the gas fast and then stop. But he has started mining again. He's got more geysers coming down. And, ooh, I like this. The sneaky Widowmine here at the third will deny this base. It's already hard enough to get a third on this map, Dalk. But to get a third with Widowmines guarding it, oh man.
Yeah, just the drone shows up and then it dies as soon as it tries plopping down that hatchery. And it looks like that's gonna be happening right now. Actually, as the drone's heading over there right away.
No! Rest in
A Zergling's
peace.
actually. Yeah, this drone dies now. Can there be friendly fire on Widow Mines?
No, thank you. Man, we got secret missiles, we got siege tanks, we got nuclear freaking missiles. We have enough friendly fire as is. The Widow Mine's even friendly fire, just not themselves is the only catch.
Okay. I was just more wondering because I'm like, if there was,
Oh,
does it
Gumio.
work on like other Widow Mines, not its own?
I don't know about the Widow Mines, but I know for a fact you kill a lot of your own Marines when you're not paying attention. I've had first-hand experience with that. But okay, these Hellions actually have got the Queens off of creep. This is one of the rare opportunities. Actually, if he did run up into the natural, he'd be met with a lot of circling. So it's a good thing he's not.
Yeah. Right now, a Baneling nest, a lair, and 1/1 on the way. Right now, there is no Roachhorn, but it looks like he might just try doing a really big Baneling bust after he sets up his third base. And on this map, after having his third denied for actually quite a bit, it could be a good idea. And right now, there's already such a large amount of lings for how little harass he's had thrown at him. I feel like a Baneling bust could actually work pretty well, and as we see, right now Gumio, all he has are Marines and 4 Hellions.
Well, see, that's the key point, though. I really think a Bailing Bust would be a bad idea, only because he's had the Hellions not taken care of to this point. What's he gonna do? Make slow Banelings across the field and waddle them across? No, and he can't exactly morph them outside the base because then the Hellions will jump on them. There's not a good situation for him here. And we see the Banelings getting made right in clear vision of Gumio. He's probably gonna let them complete, pick up, and just move somewhere else, or fry them. We'll have to wait and see. He's gonna back off for the time being. Stim is popped. He's gonna try and run. And of course, without centrifugal hooks, these Marines have no problem getting away from these Banelings. Oh my god, look at that control. Losing 2 Marines to the Banelings.
Yep, and this is what I was talking about. The bottlenecking on this map is so much easier compared to other maps. He just goes behind the mineral line and the Banelings were not able to get at him very easily. Now, though, Zenio, he's going to be having to face Marine Tank. This isn't a composition we see very much anymore because of the Widowmine and because of the Hellbat. And now...
But this will work for him. He's going for that Spire. He was going for that Ling Mutalisk Baneling composition where tanks, they are so good at dealing with everything on the ground, but they're often out of position. Often the Marines are stimming and running away from Banelings and they're not protecting the tanks, and all it takes is like 5 Mutalisks to start killing the tanks.
Yeah, and when the Spire finishes, it's going to be... We're going to have to see what will Zenio do with it. Will he mainly use them to defend against drops, or will he try going ahead and trying to deal some damage? Right now, it looks like Gumio wants to move out a bit more. But right now, his upgrades are actually really lacking compared to our Zerg player. Only on +1 weapons at the moment.
Yeah, he doesn't have the tank weapons yet, so he's gonna have a hard time one-shotting those legs. But the big thing here for Zenio, he's got so much creep spread on the map, and not a lot of people know this, but if you've got Banelings on creep with speed, they outrun Stim Marines. We got a huge surround coming in here, gonna go straight for these tanks, but the Banelings being taken out. Nice focus fire coming out of Gumio, and he only loses to the tanks. Every single Marine gets out of there alive. Coming back in for these Queens now, a couple Zerglings hiding behind the mineral lines, but Gumio's just got so much bio alive.
Yeah, right now 30 to 40 more Zerglings on the way for our Zerg player Zenio, but he might lose this third, and if he does, it's going to be a big pain in the neck.
Oh, it's not even a might. He's definitely going to lose his third. Queens went down as well, one last one standing. Zergling's trying to come into Banelings, but again, Gumio's just going to spread, or in a worst case scenario, pick up with the Medivacs, drop in the natural. Either way, just get the hell away from these Banelings. But no, he does neither of those things, and instead eats the hits. And Gumio has lost most of his initial force, but that's okay. The reinforcements are here, Delk.
Yes, they are, and also, again, the upgrade advantage is in Zenio's favor. Right now, it is tied just now 1-1, but still 2-2 about to finish for a Zerg player. And of course, he does have that Spire, so as soon as he kind of finishes up with the Zergling Baneling, he'll be able to transition into Mutalisk Zergling Baneling, and that'll just be so devastating versus this Marine tank force, because after a while, especially while pushed across the map on Planet S, you can't really defend.
Oh, but Zenio gonna get into the natural. A lot of stuff's going across the map, but he does find the supply depot down. He's gonna go for the main as well, so he's gonna kill some SCVs behind this. Now Gumio's got a lot across the field. Zenio just needs to kind of turtle in while he does the damage that he can, because Gumio, look at this, he's pulling SCVs. He has nothing at home to deal with these Zerglings.
Yeah, Xenio's really capitalizing on the fact that right now Gumio, he's pushed in to his natural, so he has to make damage happen now, or else
Mutalisk
if he
just
doesn't,
popped,
he's going to lose this whole force.
Yeah, the Mutalisk just popped. All the ground forces have been wiped out at this point. Some Banelings trying to morph in, but unless he takes care of those Marines, he cannot utilize the Mutalisks.
Yeah,
Gumio cleaning up the natural. Oh man,
he
this
might
is not
actually
good.
have to pull his drones with this, and that would be so devastating as he lost them, because there's 2 tanks right now. It's going to be really hard to engage into
Yeah,
this.
well, here come the drones. Here come the Banelings and the Zerglings from behind, though. And Zenio should clean this up, but he's lost his third twice. He's lost his natural at this point. Even if he cleans this up, he's still really far behind. But Gumio only has 4 SCVs on the field.
Yeah, the Zergling run by earlier did a ton of damage, and that's going to be helping Xenio come back into this game. And as we can see right now, he's 50 supply ahead.
And another big point, we look at the income for both of these players. This is an extremely low income situation. However, there are 37 drones. He did not pull all of them. Zenio managed to hold on to enough of them in his natural, or sorry, in his main, that he can reseed his natural and take a third behind this. This is actually looking really good for Zenio all of a sudden.
Yeah, and now it's just the amount of mules that were stored up for Gumio doing a lot of the income, and now here come the Mutalisks. They're going to be killing so many SCVs, and GG.
Well, they only killed one, but you're right. They had the potential to do more. That GG came quick.
Yeah.
Oh, that one supply depot, guys. That cost Gumio the game. If you're a Terran player, never let that happen to you.
Yeah. He's just not paying attention, and then he lost so much to, like, 10 Zerglings.